Stravinsky loved the Cimbalom, so much so that he bought his own Cimbalom, despite the fact that he was not a Hungarian, he was a Russian. And the history of his experience with the Cimbalom is that he was in Switzerland, and he was at a cafe with a friend of his where there was a Cimbalom player playing at the restaurant. And he had never heard the instrument before and was totally enraptured by it. And so he was speaking with his friend, and his friend said, oh, why don't you introduce yourself? And so he went and spoke to the Cimbalom player, and the Cimbalom player said, oh, I have a friend who has one for sale if you'd like to buy it. And so he went over and the next day and met with the gypsy who had the instrument and purchased it himself. And that was actually relatively common for Stravinsky to try and have a hands-on experience with the instrument that he was writing for, so that he could write something that was playable. And you'll find evidence in other pieces that he wrote, although, a lot of it was still very difficult, as you'll see from what I play. I mean, he, despite the fact that it was technically supposed to be user-friendly, so to speak, he still liked to push the limits of the player and the instrument. So the difference between Stravinsky's writing for the instrument and Kodai's writing, as you'll see, is it's not really necessarily Hungarian style. He just loved the sound of the instrument. And so he wrote in such a way that it was more tonal at times, but yet he, basically did whatever he wanted. And you'll find that with Stravinsky, that was kind of his MO, was that he wanted to do things in a very Stravinsky fashion. So one of the things about the Renard that's different from the Kodai, besides the style, is that he wrote in more mixed meter versus Kodai, which is a very solid 4/4. And well, you'll just have to see.